So we just stopped outside Dade's Gorge. That's it there. Right there. Stopping in Ourzazate right now to go check out a cool spice store.
After ending the last episode in Tadra Gorge, we traveled west with a goal of reaching the high Atlas Mountains, but not before stopping in Ourzazate along the way. Visit any souk in Morocco and you'll notice an abundance of brilliantly colored bins or spices. One of the most important spices to Moroccan cuisine is saffron, the most expensive spice in the world and can cost up to $4,000 per pound. It takes 140 flowers per gram of saffron and it's picked by hand. It's used to flavor foods like paella, curry, and kheer, but it's also used as a coloring in foods like cheeses, pastry, rice, and seafood. Check out this video if you want to see it being used in the famous Fez Medina to dye leather. If you want to buy it, beware. It's one of the most counterfeit products. Look for saffron that is long and thin and not in powdered form. It should be around $12 a gram. Ait Benhaddou is a kasar, or a fortified village, and it's historically important because of its location along the main trans-Saharan trade route on the way to Marrakech. Made almost entirely of dirt and clay, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's not really inhabited anymore, but the area is still used heavily for agriculture and tourism. In fact, it's been a Hollywood film location more than a few times.
This guy was in Gladiator, he was a soldier. That's awesome. From Gladiator. So we're just touring the Kasbah now. As soon as we got to the top of the hill, the wind just came whooshing in, and it is insanely windy. So right now I just found it bunkered in this little tiny, like the top of a tower kind of. It's like just like it's a little room with no roof. I don't know, there's a whole bunch of bottles in here, I guess. They've been using it as some sort of dump, or I don't know if people have just been hiding out in here. Look like maybe there's been some fires lit. Anyways, I'm protected from the wind here, and I'm probably gonna shoot some photos. Just check out this view. So the Tadra Gorge is back that way, Anti-Atlas are over there, and then tomorrow we're headed that direction towards the high Atlas Mountains. So we just parked the bus in Imlil, which is in the high Atlas Mountains, and now we're hiking up, about an hour-long hike up the mountains to Armad, and that's where we're going to be staying tonight. In a gîte. I can't wait because it's going to be a beautiful view if it's anything like what we're already seeing.
These steps are massive. So we just met a local lady and like literally just walked by her in the street, and she like invited us in for tea, and like everyone in this region is super nice. It's cool sort of getting out of big cities and like seeing more of like a small community feel, which is where I personally much prefer. Mm-hmm. We just saw some sheep, some cats, and now we're hiking pretty much just till we can't go any higher.
On top of the world right now. Well, Not exactly, but we're pretty high up. Hey! You can probably see how dirty my lens is, but it's not my fault, okay? I've got my lens protector, my UV filter, and then I've got my variable ND on there too. So I've got stacks on stacks of glass that just are really hard to keep clean in this dusty desert. But that's okay, because it still captures the footage, and it still looks awesome. Whew. I made it. Let's go get some dinner now. We just spent the night sleeping in our gîte, which is essentially just a family-owned home. They let us into their home and they fed us and they provided us a place to sleep, and it was all communal sleeping. But they were extremely nice, and it's a beautiful spot in the mountain, and it was really fun. So now we're headed back down the mountain pass, about an hour, to our bus, and then we're on our way to Essaouira. It's gorgeous here. It's gonna be sad to leave. Check out the sun. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see it, but I love sunflowers. They're the best. Okay, here we go. See you soon. It's a beautiful day out. We're in Marrakech right now, but we're passing right through Marrakech today, and we're going to Essaouira. We're gonna be there for 2 days, hanging out at the ocean, and then we're gonna end our trip in Marrakech. But for today, just to stop over, just had something to eat, and check this out. Oranges, fresh oranges. That's a good one.
We started our adventure in Essaouira with a tour of the fish market and shipyard. Essaouira is a port city in western Morocco, so this place was a hive of activity. Men in flip-flops and bare feet were working on massive steel ships, their weld spatter raining down on vendors below, who were selling everything from fruit and bread to seafood like fish, shrimp, squid, and octopus. If you're into that.
So update, we just tried to get into our original room and it smelled like sewage, like so bad. So we were like, hey, we can't stay here, we need to change. So the guy just came back and gave us this. And we literally had to go up 2 floors from everyone else. And now we have this like balcony. And our room is like by itself and it's so nice. And everyone else is gonna hate us because we've had the nicest room every single stop.
Afterwards, we wandered around for a bit, touring the various shops. Like most major centers in Morocco, you can buy rugs and all sorts of textiles, but Essaouira has a more modern touch as well, with higher-end art galleries, cabinet making, and small arts and craft businesses too. It's also world-renowned for its kite surfing and windsurfing.
We're trying to find the restaurant right now, and I think we might be lost. Liam, you should get one of those.
No.
Why not?
No.
It's like a fish restaurant.
Yeah.
But we're not talking fish and chips. We're talking like
Squid.
yeah, like
Raw.
like the depths of the ocean type food. We found it. And check out these stairs. What? Yeah, I think I might just have to get a time lapse.
Before going for lunch, we booked our long-anticipated hammam. This is a must-do activity while you're in Morocco. There are several variations depending on how traditional the spa is and what region you're in, but essentially it's a steam room where you're bathed and vigorously scrubbed with a rough cloth. It sounds odd, but it was actually very relaxing and much needed after almost 2 weeks on the road. Ours also included a massage and a facial scrub.
Honestly, we haven't been too unlucky with the food here, but this is probably like the worst meal we've had.
I was really excited because this is the first time we've seen a veggie burger on the menu, but okay, ew, let it die. What do you think of your shawarma? It's also like...
So, another little piece of advice here in Morocco, whenever you go to a restaurant, always add up everything on your bill before you actually pay for it and before they bring the bill, because we've had on 2 occasions now, 3 different occasions now, that the bill ends up being a lot higher than what it should be if you add up everything individually on the menu. It's never been a big deal to change, but you have to notice that in order to do it. So just make sure that you always pay attention.
I support this man.
Thanks, man. Anyway, so always just count everything on the menu beforehand, have that number in your head, and just make sure you're paying the right amount.
So we also learned that if you are pulled into a restaurant and there's no one else eating there, that's probably not a good sign.
We assumed that it was just because it was 4 o'clock, but we're thinking it probably was quiet because it was no good. So we're currently looking for a second restaurant. So we just stopped at another restaurant that has like 4.5 stars on TripAdvisor, so it seemed like a safer bet. And I showed them on the camera the burger that we were just given at the other restaurant, and they were appalled. I'm getting a milkshake now anyways, I'm done with food, so I feel like I'm gonna be pretty safe.
In all seriousness, you're going to find good and bad anywhere in the world you travel, and overall, the food in Morocco has been excellent, and the people have always been very friendly and willing to put up with my not-so-perfect French.
They got a new thing called free shavakadoo.
I haven't had iced coffee in so long. It's my 2 most favorite things, coffee and not being hot. For the Moroccan experience, I think that you need to see the High Atlas just because it's so much different than anywhere else. People are very spread out, the homes are a lot bigger, it's very quiet, very peaceful. Then you gotta go to Fez, which is exactly the opposite of that. And it's insane and crazy busy. And then after Fez, I guess you'd have to do Essaouira because it's the ocean. Like it's also very different.
The food came, and I got distracted, but if you want some more ideas on places to go in Morocco, I definitely recommend the Blue City, also known as Chefchaouen. And you can check out this video about my time there here.
So we're touring the souks of Marrakech right now, and it's interesting. It's gorgeous, and there's all sorts of handmade materials. Also, there's literally scooters ripping by in what seems like essentially a hallway, and it's crazy, and I swear one of these times I'm gonna get my ankles taken out from under me. It's neat though, we're in what's kind of like a factory right now, or like I guess a store with a bunch of little tiny stalls, and they're all selling textiles. The souk in general though in Marrakech is gorgeous. It's just very difficult. People in Morocco really don't appreciate being filmed, and so obviously we want to be very courteous and very respectful of people's privacy. So it is quite difficult to film here. There's either signs saying don't film, or there's people telling you if they see your camera, before you even bring the camera up, they'll kind of wave their finger at you like they don't want you filming. So it's difficult, but have to be respectful. So I'll film where I can, but for the most part, right now we're just touring around the souks, and if I see anything really interesting, I'll try and bring the camera out respectfully.
A kid just walked into a bike looking at the camera.
Really? That's how cramped these hallways are here. It's insane. Like, look at this. we walked into a guy's shop and saw this staircase going up, and we asked him if it was his home up here, and he said yes.
Oh my God.
And we can look over the whole souk. So going all the way up to the top right now. This is crazy.
That's crazy, yes. Crazy upstairs.
Wow. This tiny little. So this is storage up here.
Yes.
Wow. Maybe it was a bit of a misunderstanding when we asked him if he lived up here, and he said yes. But there's definitely space up here, and I guess this is where he stores more carpets, and it's very cool. It's just right out in the open, right above the souk. So what's interesting is when you're up top, you actually can't even see the roads or the walkways.
It looks peaceful. You can't even see the market.
It looks extremely peaceful. There's a road there, and there's a road over there, and a road there. And it's crazy bustling with people, but from up here you can't see it, so it's actually very cool. So Liam just bought a rug too. Finally decided on one that he liked, and we did some good old-fashioned bartering for it. I think in the end we're happy with the price. He obviously still made some money, so it worked out. Liam got the carpet that he needed, and then the women who made it get a bit of the cut as well. So overall, I'm pretty happy with the purchase. I think my brother is too. From here, I think we're gonna do a little bit more exploring, and then we gotta go have lunch because I'm starving. So we just said goodbye to Lauren and Liam. So now it's just the two of us left here in Morocco. And it is our last day. Oh, hi. You coming to join me?
Yeah.
So we just checked out of our riad here.
Our flight's not until like 1:50 a.m. tonight.
Yeah. Very exciting.
And that's a wrap on my Morocco series. If you stuck around this long, thank you so much. And if you haven't seen my previous videos, I'd love it if you checked out my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.